So if you're a visual person, this is a great way to get to know Elisabeth's career also. I've loved hearing everything, but maybe you can give us some insight into what we're looking at.
Well, we already talked about this one in the costume. I called this my kitchen sink costume, because I put everything in it but the kitchen sink. You've all heard that expression, right? Yeah.
The
okay.
kitchen sink costume?
Yeah.
No, but now we have.
Yeah.
So that means you just put any necklaces and.
All the junk jewelry, the
Okay.
big piece of fabric I didn't know what to do with, the big hair and pants thing.
Okay, anything left over.
Yep.
Do I see a Christmas ornament on there?
It's possible.
I'm joking. I'm joking. It's beautiful. And you're at Bishop's here.
I can't remember where that was.
Where is this? When
No,
you
no, it
sent
isn't
it to me,
Bishop.
it was told to me that it was Bishop's, and that's Ed Malikian back there. But
That's Eddie. No, you know what? It's coming back to me now. This was in Somerville when George played at a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, now yep. George Abdu at the function room in Somerville. Yep.
all right, so we got that cleared up. And want to just check the next one? Ooh, where are we?
That could be the Middle East. Now that,
When you sent it to me, you did say the Middle East.
yeah. And I'm trying to decide who the drummer is. I don't know. But I
do not
remember,
know.
I remember that costume. I had an all black costume.
So did you make this costume?
Yes, I did. I remember the skirt, and I was getting a little racy. See that little teeny bit of thigh there?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because earlier you said you didn't like a lot of lower focus. You wanted it up.
Well, things sort of shifted because everybody wore the harem pants when I started, and then after a while, things evolve. Nothing stays the same. And so the skirts came out different, and I tried this one. Again, you took the ends and you put them in here, so you had this little poof. And sometimes when you danced, sometimes the poof came out, and sometimes it didn't. But it was an experiment with a black costume.
Are the black drapes on the belly beaded fringe?
I don't think that was beaded fringe. It might have been, well, maybe it was. I don't know this costume very well. I didn't use it that often, so
Okay.
I'm
But I see the straight sword. You were talking to us.
yeah.
Is that the sword before Canada?
no,
Or
that's
after Canada?
That's the after Canada.
Is that the
sword.
one that you got chromed?
Yep,
That's so neat.
yep, that's the one.
Wow. It is very pointy and menacing.
You have to make it look dangerous.
It does look
That's
dangerous.
half the fun. Yep,
Wow.
yes, indeed.
And that around your neck and hanging down the back, is that a veil?
That's a veil.
Okay, so where are we in your show?
I'm trying to figure that out myself. What was I doing with the veil around me like that? It could be I finished my veil piece and then just put it there and got out of the way. Maybe it was one of my experiments.
Interesting. Shall we carry on?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, what is this?
This is me with the sword on my belly.
This is the sword. Oh, and it's been chromed.
Yes, it glittered.
That is the shiny
glittered.
sword.
And that's the carpet
That's the one.
from Turkey. Yep, yep.
Goodness.
And I don't know exactly where that was either. But that's definitely floor work with a sword. The chrome-plated sword.
I'm looking and I see your zills that you said you take them off and put them aside for a minute.
Yes.
They're up there. That's so neat.
Yep.
Wow, I like your eye makeup.
Well, I must have been experimenting again.
It's beautiful. And your fingers are, again,
that's
all
the-
part of your line, huh?
That's the hand thing. Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah, every part is different. I mean, you're lying there with this, but you've still got this, and you've still got feet. You've got all these other parts. Everything, it's all one thing.
Wow. Beautiful. And is that a harem pant kind of connecting to your ankle?
Yes, and that's another thing I was experimenting with. I remember, I don't know where I got them, but there was harem pants that were here, and the leg was exposed, and then there was a skirt on top.
Wow.
So I don't think I used that one very much. But that was, anyway, so that's that one.
That's that one? Oh.
This one was fun. It's what I wanted a costume, and I was on a little bit of I made it up. I made the costume. I made the skirt with some white stuff I had. The belt was just a scarf that I tied in front. And the bra was with those little cheap paillettes, those little things. and then I made the collar to go with it. So that was kind of like a little budget costume. And see, even in the veil, I put the little paillettes, just one or two on the end.
Oh,
And I wanted to see if I could, pull it off, a total white costume. But people liked it.
that's lovely.
I was the lady in white.
And your hair is down to your back,
Yep,
you see, right?
yep, I had long hair.
Wow. Is this a private party?
Yes.
So,
That may have been at one of Cafe Adonis' things. It may have been, I don't know.
oh, really?
I can see the little chairs and the seats.
If that was Cafe Adana's, was it at the studio?
Yes,
So that might be what the studio looked like?
that might be what the studio looked like. I really should check and see.
Wow.
But that was, yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I like that picture.
And you have a little upper arm thing.
Yeah, I did that. It was, I don't know why, it just seemed like another little decorative element to put there.
Love it.
And I wanted it to be all white. So again, I put the paillettes there, and then it was a little elastic band. This was definitely the budget costume, but it worked out okay.
Oh, it's glamorous. Thank you, Liz. Ooh.
Now this one was in Gloucester. They were having a weekend folk festival, and there were all kinds of ethnic things going on, and I did the sword dance. So this is outside, down by the docks, and the crowd seems interested, and it was an all-family thing. I love that picture.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Now, I wore a leotard because we were outside and it was family, and it just seemed appropriate. So I had a leotard with a very full, I thought if I have a nice narrow leotard here, dark, this big full billowing thing would be a good, what am I saying, against the sword. I've got the sword, my hair's covered, you see, I got the scarf on my hair, the little, it looked sort of folky, ethnic-y, which is what I wanted it to look like. So those might have been the big billowing harem pants again. Oh, it was that same costume, you see? Can you see the skirt over the costume? It's kind of got little stripes on it, it almost looks like.
Yes.
And those big, thick black fringe on the end. So that was my kitchen sink costume over a leotard. I probably had a different necklace on.
Wow. Are you wearing shoes?
I probably was, but I don't know. That's another thing, we all danced in our bare feet until people really started hurting themselves. But it was the thing to do. Nobody came in with the high heel shoes until later. So, and there were dance sandals you could get from Capizio, I think.
Yeah, those Hermes sandals.
Yes, you could get some little dance sandal. But I danced in my bare feet more often than I probably should have. I was lucky I didn't hurt something. But I would
You
assume
mean by
that,
hurt something by stepping on
yeah,
a glass?
just
or
injured
anything?
yourself, sure. So, but I hope I had brains enough that day to wear something on my feet. I can't quite tell.
I think I see a little shoe there.
I think.
And I think I see your finger symbols and
Yes.
the covering for the
The
sword.
sword, that's right, that's right. That's exactly what's there.
So you did a form of a full-length show, or at least a few numbers here.
I must have come out with the symbols.
Do you think it was live music or
I doubt
recording?
it. I probably recorded something, so that means I planned ahead what I was going to do.
Okay.
So I probably came out with the symbols, because you can't beat it. You come out with the symbols, everyone's going to notice you. I mean, I don't know why people don't use it all the time. Here, everybody, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. All right, I got your attention. Now, watch.
And this was Gloucester, you said.
Gloucester.
Gloucester. Oh, so you were right near home.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Great.
Next door neighbor.
Cool. That is beautiful.
I just love the crowd. They're all just, people came out for this. This is down by the docks, by the fishing boats. And yeah, and so that was me. So that was fun. That was fun.
Every child is into it.
Yeah, everybody's looking. So,
Neat.
well, one little kid's looking a different way. But anyway, the audience appears to be involved. So anyway, that's one of my favorite pictures. I like that one.
Excellent.
Here's the hand thing.
The hand thing.
And there's Eddie Malikian right behind me. See him? His
Oh,
little,
yeah.
his little top knot there. Yeah.
Eddie
Dark
Malikian.
hair. Yeah.
So those who don't know, Eddie Malikian is still playing. We are still able to dance with him, and it's awesome. And so
And he's a darling. But there it was. See, I put the veil on me front to back, not like this, but like this. So you can see that, and it's an attractive veil. It's got, and I would do the, that's what I'm doing. I would do the little mudras or whatever you, and it always interested me how much the audience was interested. And I say, why are they watching me just moving my hands? But sometimes I would think up a story in my mind. I would say, well, she did this, and then we did that, and then we went. So it was kind of and people would ask me, they'd say, are you telling a story? And I said, yes. And so they would try to figure out what the story was. And sometimes it was sort of a story. And sometimes it was, I wonder what would happen if I did this.
You were just playing with your lines.
It's all art.
It's lovely. Yeah, this is beautiful. You've got this long line and then this sort of like receiving hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm saying something and I'm receiving or something.
Or you could call it playing with energy if you wanted to.
Oh.
I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do with a hand thing. So I did it once and everybody liked it, so I did it again, and then everybody liked it, so I just do the hand thing.
It's awesome. And where is this again?
This is probably at the Middle East. I don't know.
Okay.
Anybody recognize it? There's Eddie.
Got Eddie back there.
No, you see those kind of arches on the side?
Yeah.
I think that was maybe at the Middle East, but I don't know.
Alrighty.
Maybe not.
Ooh. Is that the kitchen sink one from the front?
No, this is my first costume that I made myself.
Oh my goodness, look at it.
And those are all coins from the Windsor Button Shop and old necklaces, and
Wow.
and that thing on my chest is a necklace. They were very popular at the time, those
The dowry,
curved things.
dowry
Yeah.
necklace. Where did you get that?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
You look so happy.
I was very happy. I was very happy.
You just look so happy.
Yep.
Who's playing for you?
That was a Greek band. I don't know who they were, but they were I don't want to say typical Greek band, because that's not fair, but they were one of the Greek bands that aren't, sometimes they're not into the dancer. They like the singer, they want to hear the Greek music, and oh, here's the dancer, okay, let's get her, get her off. Now we can dance ourselves and play our music.
Okay, so
They kinda
it
went
looks
into
like you're holding a veil.
Yes, it does. So I must have, what I suspect here is I probably finished my veil piece and then pulled it up in front of me and then started the melody, and then I probably put the veil down. So I'm just going to guess. Did I have my symbols on? I don't know.
So you might sometimes play with your veil again after the veil piece, or just.
Well, you have to get rid of it. You have to get rid of it. You've done your veil piece. Now you got to put it down.
Yes.
So you don't want to just clunk it. You want to.
So you would dance it down.
Yeah.
Somehow. Oh. You see,
Yeah.
these are the beautiful nuances that have gotten lost. We just throw them on the ground.
Oh, no, see, you're wasting.
I'm exaggerating, but I want you to tell us more, please.
Well, you don't waste stuff like that. It's just like taking the symbols off. But as I said before, we always wore the symbols because Mike Sarkeesian would kill you if you didn't. Yes, don't you dare take your symbols off. Well, after a while, he did.
Did he consider that part of his band's sound, and he wanted that in the rhythm section?
Dancers didn't take their symbols
Or
off.
it was just an aesthetic? But was it because he was a
right.
band leader wanting the sound in there, or was it
No.
because you wanted the dancer to have that aesthetic?
You didn't. If you were a dancer, you didn't take the symbols off. I understand your question. It
Thank
had
you.
nothing to do with the sound.
Okay.
It had to do with if you were a good dancer or not.
Okay.
You didn't take your symbols off.
Okay, not to take you off topic.
So anyway, after a while, I did take them off when he wasn't looking. But you had to do it. You had to do it. You didn't want to just take them off. So you had to make like a little ceremony. So I'd have my back to the audience, with the symbols. I know I'm going to go into my veil now. So I've danced with my veil on, my opening number. And then my back is to the audience, and I'm facing the band. And so now you kind of gracefully sink down a little bit, and then you take them off, and then you very carefully put them exactly where you wanted them, because you're going to have to pick them up afterwards. So you would set them down face down, because you're going to put them up afterwards, and you're going to slip them on your fingers while you come back up after your. So does that make any sense?
Yes,
So you
yes.
make a little ceremony, and now you're down, and now you come up very slowly, and you're facing the band again, and your hands come up, and now you have no symbols on, and now you face the audience, and then you do your veil. Then you take.
Did you also dance with veil and cymbals together, though?
I did for a while until
Okay.
I didn't have to anymore because I could have more fun with my hands. I mean, it was okay. You could learn to manipulate with the veil, but if you, again, the hand thing, you could have more fun with your hands and do more with the veil if you didn't have to have the cymbals.
And when you were doing the drum solo and you had your cymbals on, did you play along with your movements, or did you just let the drummer play?
Sometimes. It depended on the drummer. It depended on, sometimes you would. But I would watch other dancers, and sometimes I would find it distracting. If the drummer was doing a really nice job and the dancer was playing the zills, I would think,
Yeah.
I wish he'd stop playing the zills so I could work with the drum. So that was, to me, that was totally arbitrary. You use them or not as you want to. So does that answer the question? Yeah, I'm glad you asked about this, about the veil in front, because you put them down and you dance. Yeah, you dance with the veil, and then you.
So then you're going to dance artfully discard.
Yeah, and then, and again, you're going to, I would do it except I can't. My back is to the audience, and if you cross your feet like this, you can kind of sink down, and you could put your veil on the ground and pick up, because the veils, your cymbals are probably going to be on the floor if they're not on the little stage where the band is. And then you very carefully, and then you very slowly come up while you're fiddling with this, so they can't see you. You very slowly come up, and then you just play your hand. Now your hands have the cymbals on them. Surprise, surprise, everybody. And then you turn around, and then you start the melody.
Love it.
It's all, but the thing is, don't let people see what's going on. It's all one thing.
Right. I love when you told me between sections, slowly turn
Yeah,
around and come back with a new piece of the story.
yeah,
I love that.
yep. We'll say, oh, what you going to do
So
now?
This would be a nuance that's possibly being lost if we're not careful, which is how to connect sections, because we've come to a point where we don't all have live bands, so we're doing one song at some event. So you don't have to learn these connections, these transitions.
Oh, yes.
That's beautiful to hear.
Well, the minute you break a connection, you're breaking the thread that you've been building very carefully. And that thread is to keep your audience on you. And if you break the thread, they're going to have a chance to say, oh, wait a minute, where was I? Oh, okay, oh, there she is. You keep the thing going. You just keep the thing going. And the way to do that is to transition. Transitions, yeah. You transition from one to the other in the most
Smooth?
fluid, but in a way that's not going to jolt somebody. You know, if you're watching something beautiful and then somebody pokes you in the back, so you say, what the hell was that? Okay, where was I? You don't want that. You want like, there she is. Oh, there she. Oh, yeah. Does that make? I'm just sort of babbling here.
No, we love hearing it. Thank you. And I just love all the drapes on the belly. This we must bring back. We're not doing this enough.
Oh, it's just you should. I mean, it's a total area.
I would think it would really encourage you to.
Absolutely.
If you're shy about it, it would encourage you to try the different belly moves.
Absolutely, because you
to
do the
play.
rolls and you do the flutters. You know about the flutters. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. And it's fun when you have little thinky, winky little things going on there. Yeah, and people like it. They like it. You're doing these and you stop and you move a little bit and they say, oh, wow, people like it. Your audience likes that.
Thank you. Oh, same.
Me on the floor.
Oh, floor work.
Yeah, it was kind
Now,
of
are those zills?
Yes, it looks like
that
this.
Adana started you on?
Yep, it looks like the Zildjians.
I wonder if they're the same zills of today, because they're giant, very heavy.
The ones I started on were huge.
Yeah, okay. Well, now there's an industry, so you can start on little light ones, but you just had to start right on the heavy
So
ones.
these are the Zills, and you'll learn them. Yep.
Wow.
And then we found out about turquoise Zills and those other little. And then there's the little Turkish Zills, the ones with the little turned up. I saw them in Turkey for the first time.
The little edge
Yeah.
turn up. Right.
Oh, I have to tell you, can I tell you a quick funny story about
Please.
Turkey? I was in Istanbul for the first time, and I wanted to buy little Turkish cymbals that turn up. I didn't know where to get them, so I went to the big bazaar where everybody goes, and I'm saying, where can I buy the cymbals? And somebody says, I know a place for you. It was a young man. He was very sweet. And he said, my uncle or somebody owns a store. So we went through all these little back alleys, and I was naive enough to just believe everything, follow him. So we went to this music store, and in the music store were musical instruments. And behind the counter is sitting this old guy. He's an old guy, and he's sitting like this. He's got the hat on, Yeah, what do you want? And I said, tell him I want the cymbals with the little, the little curved things. I tell him what I want. And the young man, who's very sweet, he says something to the proprietor, the old guy. And the old guy says something back. And he says he doesn't know what you're talking about. And I said, no, tell him that I'm a dancer from the United States, from America. I'm a dancer from America. I'm a dancer, and I want this, so the kid says, okay, so he talks to the old man again, and the old man's sitting there, and he looked up at me, and he started to laugh. He's laughing so hard he's crying. He's slapping his knee, and he's laughing, and he said something. And I said, what did he say? And the boy says, I don't know. I said, yes, you do know. What did he say? And he says, you got nothing. I wasn't, the Turkish dancer's like, you got nothing, I'm just a regular American-sized person. And he's laughing. So I managed to swallow my pride. We did finally get the cymbals. But I thought that, cultures treasure different things for different reasons. But
Wow.
I thought that was very funny.
I love that story.
I do too. Thank you for reminding me.
That's a good one.
So, here's the...
Oh, Club Cairo. Oh, that's the flowers.
Yeah, those are peony flowers all over the floor.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That does look like Barbara.
Yeah, it does.
And that tapestry on the wall, that has showed up in different dance situations.
Yes, it is. It seems that all the clubs and everything, that everybody has one.
I wound up in front of one of those, too. I don't know who put
Yeah,
it there.
you did. I remember some photograph of you in front of that.
So this is the Club Cairo.
This is the Club Cairo.
That the dancers, led by Barbara Brandt,
Yes.
and
Barbara
Nancy
Brandt-
Barber?
Nancy Barber.
decided to, let's do our own thing
Yes,
here. And
yes.
make sure we're getting it like we want it.
Yep, we're running it our own way. The musicians, us, we're all together in it, all together.
Wow. And so your hair flowers, I think, are gone by
They
now.
probably fell out. A lot of them just fell out.
That
the
is
ones around me.
fabulous.
I wish it was a better picture. But yeah, it was sort of a wreck by the end. I had misted myself all I could. Yeah. So I just love it. I just have wonderful memories of that show. And then they had to come out with brooms afterwards and sweep everything out.
Sweep the flowers away. Wow.
So that was fun. Yeah, that was fun.
I wonder where that Club Cairo banner is. That's for your project.
I don't know. Yeah. But it was there for a while. I don't know how many years it was there, but it was a real thing. And the dancers worked on it. And Barbara probably knows way more about it than I do. And Nancy probably does too. We would get information. But maybe somebody should find out about that.
Cool.
So I think that's probably all the
Oh, no.
Oh, this was one of my experiments.
Okay.
I got that beautiful veil. It was prettier than it looks in the picture. It was. I can't remember where I got it. I got it overseas. Oh no, the navy blue veil I've got across my face. I got that in Turkey. On the Turkish side, they told me there was a town that did beautiful silk, so I made the trip just to get this piece of silk.
Wow.
So now I wanted to use it, and I can't remember exactly where I was dancing here. Maybe it was Ahmed's. No, I don't know.
There's a drum kit behind
I
you.
do.
That's a
No,
drum.
so that wasn't Ahmed's. Anyway, I thought I would do this sort of mysterious thing. Well, the audience liked it, as far as I could see, but somebody came up to me afterwards. It was somebody who was not American, and she said, you should not be doing that. She said, that's very disrespectful of you to cover your face like that. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, the peasant people do that. She said, and it makes you look like you're not, that you're sort of a lower person.
Where was she from?
I don't know.
Couldn't find out.
I didn't know what she meant, and no one had ever said that to me before, but she made it very clear that was not a good idea.
Wow.
So, but again, like it was one of my experiments. I just tried stuff and see if it worked.
And learned.
I think it looks okay.
Well, your eyes are just beautiful.
I guess that worked.
And it looks like, is there a headpiece going on here?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that's all about. Maybe I had that veil attached somehow. I don't know. And I'm not sure if those are Zildjians or not.
Well, they're big.
They were big. I had several different kinds. Probably should have brought them. I had several kinds. I think that's probably the last picture, isn't it?
Another one, Liz?
Oh, the cake dance.
What is going on here?
Oh, the cake dance. Oh, this was so much fun. I worked for a company called Creative Capers. They did very high-end catering.
Okay.
And I danced at a lot of very fancy golf clubs. You know, the Essex County Golf Club or the Ipswich, they didn't call them golf clubs, they called them something else, but country clubs. And she had a wooden cake built with a door in it. And one of their jobs, Creative Capers, somebody came to them and said, there's a caterer on the North Shore, his name is Brandon. Oh, damn, I forgot it. It'll come to me. Anyway, he's very, very well known, and he's having a birthday party, and they want to have something so different that he would never have seen anything like it. And so they found out about this cake, and they said, can you come out of the cake and dance? And I said, yes, but not the way you think, you know. They always make jokes, oh, the stripper dances out of the, you know, jumps out of the cake. I said, no, we're going to do this differently. So the cake was made of plywood. It had a door in it, and it was a little fake cake. It had a big tray on the bottom that was like the dish. So I put my sword across the dish, and the sword was the exact right proportion to look like a knife for the cake.
Cutting the cake.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
So
perfect.
So I had them wheel it out. It was so funny because I had to sit in it like this, and they'd wheel it out to the area where everybody was sitting with all their tables and chairs and things. And then I would put my hand out, must have been this hand because I'm left-handed, and I would, with my finger symbols and with my zills, and I would just have my hand come out of the top of the cake. Okay, and do a little thing. And everybody, yeah, are they interested? You bet they are. They're interested. And then the guy would slowly open the door, and I would step out, very dignified, and make a gesture. And they're all like, okay, now we start the music. Da, 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 da. Oh, and the funny part was sometimes they would have a live band. These places would have a live band, American band. And I didn't want to use the cassette or the tape if I could use a band, but the band didn't know what to do. So I would talk to them. Every band knows how to play Hava Nagila. Every band knows how to play Miserlou.
Oh.
So I would say, I'd say, this is what I want you to do. I want you to do 5 parts. What's 5 parts? I said, so first you play Hava Nagila until I cue you. Oh, you want to tell us what it, yes. And after I cue you, then I want you to play Miserlou. Oh, okay. And then after I do Miserlou, then I'm going to tell you to play, it had to be Hava Nagila again. Hava Nagila, but very quick, very, very short. And then what I want you to do is I want you to play a sort of a rhythm section, but I want somebody to solo. Is there a saxophone or somebody? Just make it up. Yes, yeah. Okay. That's great. Now they're interested. And then I want you to do a little thing of the drum, just sort of drum. You mean just make it up? Yeah, just make it up. It was like that. And then we'd end with Hava Nagila again. Quick, fast, not too much, because the too much Hava Nagila was Hava Nagila, and then, yeah, and so we'd work the band.
Wow.
It was fun.
Really a good lesson right there for
Yeah.
if we're in that situation, we can play that way. That is neat.
And they were always into it. They were always into it. Nobody ever said, what's this BS? You know, they were saying, yeah, let's try that. They were always into it. I'm sorry,
you're
Bill.
out.
Yeah, that's me stepping up. Very, very dignified. Very, yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
No jumping.
And the lines again.
Yep.
You're a big snake line.
Well, see, you have to think of that when you're practicing in the mirror, you have to think about how do you look from all sides? Because I have a big thing about dancing for the whole audience, not just the people in front. So how do I look to the guy on the side? How do I look to the lady over here? How do I look here? Always be aware.
Beautiful.
So, but anyway, that was a good gig. But I love the pictures. It's the cake. What do you mean, the cake?
The cake is absolutely wonderful.
The cake dance. I don't know whatever happened to them or what else they used the cake for.
Beautiful.
So,
Oh,
oh, and there's me again. Yeah, this is one of my favorite. There's the kitchen sink costume again. And this is
yeah, the
this
pants
is
are gigantic.
this is at a wedding in Ipswich at Castle Hill. Does anyone know where that is?
Yeah, yeah.
You see the white gloves? This was a very fancy wedding reception. And I was a little not concerned about it. Somebody had said that it may have been not appropriate to have a belly dancer. And then I heard somebody, when I was getting ready, I heard somebody say, oh, watch this. This is going to be really interesting. You'll like it. I heard somebody saying to somebody else. So it worked out. It was great. It was great. It was one of my favorite gigs.
Beautiful. On we go. Oh, that's
Oh, and this one, I told Darrell, I love this one because you see the fringe on my left hip. That little bounce. I must have been just doing a walking shimmy because the fringe right in the back where the V is are flat, but in that little corner, I'm flipping the fringe. And
I noticed you have a necklace down your back,
yes,
too.
that was probably part of the necklace I put in the front, and I had extra, and I didn't know what to do with it.
Oh. Wow.
I suspect here I was going toward the drummer.
This looks like the same place where you did the experimental hair head thing with the Turkish silk, because that's
It could be,
the drums.
which may have been Ahmed's because I did a lot of experimenting there,
Ahmed's.
but I'm not sure.
Beautiful. Did you wear wigs ever?
No, I didn't. I didn't wear wigs. Sometimes if I felt I needed to fill up the ponytail, sometimes I would add a fall
Into the pony.
into the ponytail, but I never wore a whole wig.
Beautiful.
So that's one of my favorite pictures
Why?
because I look so happy. You know, I look so happy. I was just so full of joy with the dance. And I like the colors. And oh, I remember that now. Those sleeves, those big red things were sleeves. I had a skirt that I was ironing, and I burned a hole in it with the iron by mistake. And I said, being the practical person I am, I said, I can't use the skirt anymore. What can I do with it? So I cut it in half, and I made, instead of the circle skirt like that, I cut it in half, so I had two of those. And so I sewed it up, and I put Velcro here. So I would come out and do the beginning dance with all this flowy stuff. And then when it was time to do the sword, I would just take the sleeves off and leave them. Yeah.
And have a more svelte
Yes.
set of lines and looks. Wow.
But one of my girlfriends came to one of the performances. I says, how did it work, the sleeves? And she said, it was fine. She said, but you got to do something about the sound of the Velcro. She said, don't bring... Just sort of peel it off gently.
Oh, that's funny.
So those were the Velcros.
That's it. Okay. Thank you for sharing these with us. It's
it was fun for me.
So
It was-
exciting to see you in action as best we can.
It was so much fun for me, too.
So we have this lovely bag of things. I don't know if you wanted to show us sketches or...
Well, I brought two sketchbooks because a lot of times people ask me, I guess I brought three. They ask me why I'm sketching all the time or what I'm doing. And so I brought these in case anybody wanted to just look.
Okay.
Dance and music notes. I mean, there's the thing about sketchbooks is there's all kinds of things in there that didn't work. You're just kind of observing. So I brought them in case anybody wanted to just look through them.
So are some of these black and whites coming from sketches?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But they're the finished result of the early work
Well,
in the book.
I don't want to say finished. I want to say they're the ones that came out right because a lot of them don't.
Okay.
So you do 12 and you say, gee, this one looks pretty good, and the rest you just throw out, you don't use.
So how many sketches does it take to get like the one in the middle?
I'm going to call them drawings instead of sketches because that's what they are. They're drawings. I use a pen, sometimes a brush, but usually just a pen. And I'll draw, like the one in the middle, with one arm up and one arm down. I remember when I did that night, I used a brush, and you could see the big black areas where I used a brush, and I used a pen. And before I got that one, I did 30 drawings. Fast. You draw fast, really fast. And
And what size are the 30 drawings?
maybe this big.
Okay.
Yeah, do quickies. These
You're
are all
after
enlargement.
something that you know you didn't get, so you do it again.
Well, it's just, you're just doing it until it feels right. You see this, here's one, here's another one, here's another one. Oop, the pen slipped. Oop, the brush didn't do. Oops, do another one. And then you look over them all and say, you know, that one's not bad. And then, you know, you get rid of the rest of them. So most of them were like that. That one, I wouldn't be surprised if that one was Joey.
Isn't Jose Junior?
Yeah.
Joey Cumgen?
Joey Cumgen.
Joey Cumgen.
I would,
Jose Junior?
no. No, I did do drawings of him, but.
For
that-
those
that was one
that those of us who are coming to events now, Joey Cumgen is an oud player who plays for us now. So you think that's
I
him?
suspect it might be him because of the way he's leaning and the way his arm is.
Angle the head.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this,
I don't know, that was a drummer. I was at a workshop and I did a bunch of things and I said, boy, that one came out pretty good. So you never know, you know, you never know.
he looks like a fella I played with named Garo.
Oh, I remember him. Yeah.
There
Yes,
he
I
was.
remember him. And the other ones are, I can't, oh, that's one, yeah, that was somebody dancing with
Tambourine.
yeah, the tambourine. That was some folk thing. And I don't even remember the last one.
The last one, I think you've called it Little Feet.
Little feet, yeah, because her little feet were so
The
cute.
little
Yeah.
feet are coming out. It's so darling.
Yep, yeah, I like that one. I think I made little notes out of that.
Or is it the other one on the end that you call Little Feet? No, that's.
No, not that one. That one, I like that one because it's so fast and quick and there's very little, yeah.
That, it's very loose,
Yep.
not a lot of ink.
But the thing is, they have to move. They have to move and look alive. They don't look alive if they're not moving. Then it's just a drawing. With the big one, you mean?
Yeah.
She's got a veil across her face.
Oh.
And I'll tell you, there was a dancer that inspired me.
Yep.
I don't know if I want to use inspired, but I watched her with great interest. She danced at the Averoff. Her name was Marlisa Pons. And she was different. She danced in Vegas a lot, so she had a very showy kind of a dance. And she came out with that thing over her face. And I did a lot of drawings of her just because it was fun. And I liked that one.
What was her name again?
Marlisa Pons, Marliza.
Wow. And that little one on the end, do you call her Habibi?
Yeah, because she looked so kind of adorable.
She's adorable.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they come out perfect. What's the point?
That you just keep doing them. You just say, I see this thing. I got to do something about this thing. No, that's no good. Okay, well, or let's see. She's dancing now. She's dancing. Okay, I got the pen. Okay, no, okay, no, okay, okay. You don't even expect it. You just keep drawing. You just keep drawing. You just keep doing it.
And it shows up.
Eventually, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, eventually. It's like anything else. You do 1,000. Can I tell a really quick story about this?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're good. We're going.
This is a story that made an impression on me. There once, a long time ago, was an emperor. He was a very fancy emperor. He had big palaces and all this other. He had everything he wanted. And the emperor's sitting there. He says, "I think I'd like a drawing of a fish." So he tells all his lackeys here, "The emperor wants a drawing of a fish. Drawing of a fish. Okay, we'll go to an artist and we'll get a drawing of a fish." So they get in their little wheelies or wherever, and they went to the artist's place, knocked on the door. The emperor wants a drawing of a fish. The artist says, okay, thank you. And he shuts the door, and they go back to the emperor. The artist is going to make a drawing of fish. So they wait, and a month goes by, and another month goes by, and another month goes by, and the emperor says, where's my drawing of a fish? Take me to the artist. I want my drawing. So they put him in his little thing, and they carry him to the artist, knock on the door. Artist, the emperor is here and he wants a drawing of a fish. And the artist says, oh, okay. Here's your drawing. The emperor says, that's beautiful, thank you. It was fine. What took you so long? And the artist goes over to a cabinet and he opens the door and out fall thousands of drawings of fishes. Isn't that a great story?
Wow,
I love that story.
that's
I hope
fabulous.
everybody, yeah,
If he could just rip it off because he had been working on it. Wow.
thousands of drawings of fishes, hundreds maybe of drawings of fishes. Yeah. So it just, that's the process. Somebody's nodding.
What's going on over here?
Well, Dance of the Light, now there's a picture that I made several of that that I wasn't satisfied with completely. I just made another one. And finally, I got this one. And I took it to someplace, and a lady wanted to buy it. She was from Maine, and she was with her husband, and she said, I really, really want to buy that drawing. And she said, but I can't afford it. And I said, well, you can make payments on it, because that's what people do. I'll hold it until you... And she said, okay, I'll give you a deposit now, and I'll send you payments until I can have the drawing. So I made the deal with her, and I went home, and I'm looking at the drawing, and I'm saying, how can I part with this? I really like this picture, but now I've sold it. And my daughter, who was very practical, said, Mom, get a print made. So I said, duh. So I did. It was the first time I made a print of anything.
Oh,
And she did buy it, and she took it back to Maine with her. And this is what I have.
a lot of people have that print.
A lot of people have the print. That print is all over the world. One I particularly like is there's a convent in, it's either Minnesota or Michigan. The nuns wrote to me, and they said, we want this picture to put in our big room because we're dealing with women here who are burned out. They just don't have anything left. And we want to have a picture like this for them to look at.
Wow.
So it's in a lot of studios of people that do healing arts, massage healing arts, Reiki. It's in a lot of studios. The healing arts people kind of got into it.
I want you to know we look at it a lot.
Really?
As we dance, when we talk about posture and communicating from our heart. And
Yeah.
it just says different things to different people, but you can't look at it and slump. That's for sure.
Well, that's good because like I said, I think I did 2 or 3 before I got the one I wanted. I threw the other ones out. I don't know what happened to them. But anyway, I said, it isn't right yet, it isn't right yet, and I finally got it right.
And when you did it originally, what is that medium? What is making
It's pastel on a kind of a rough paper.
Wow.
Pastel is it's a very high-end form of, people say it's chalk. It's not really chalk, but it's a powdered stick. And the colors are just luscious, brilliant. You don't use a brush.
It looks as if it was done almost like you're dancing as you're doing it. Like the lines look so like, oh.
You know, not really. I probably made some sketches, and like I said, I did a couple that I didn't like yet. And so now I kind of had in my head what I wanted. But I know I experimented a lot. And the thing of that light in front of her, that wasn't there before. It just kind of evolved. I started doing it. I said, well, this isn't right. That can't be a veil. But then I just went with it. It just evolved. But the thing is, it doesn't happen. Things don't happen by themselves. You give yourself to it, and you practice, and you try again, and you throw one out, and you do another one. And it doesn't happen by itself. And then finally, you say, yeah, that's it. Where did it come from? I don't know. But
We can't not talk about the woman with the sword on her head.
that's the woman with the sword on her head. I did a lot of drawings because I'm trying to get the feel of what it feels like and what it looks like.
What it feels like for you.
Yeah.
You were working from that.
But I still have to communicate to who's ever looking at the picture. You know, I can say this is my interior thing, but if it doesn't communicate, then it didn't feel what it's like you're dancing for yourself or you're dancing for, you're not dancing for other people, you're including them in your thing. You know, so I did a lot of sword drawings. This is one I particularly liked. And with Norman, I just wanted a picture of a male belly dancer. I said, I have all these females.
And Norman was a male belly dancer
Yes.
in the region.
And his name was, and I forgot what his name was. Salim Ahmed.
Salim Ahmed. And was he good?
Yeah,
You liked his dancing?
he wasn't,
I mean, why were you inspired to do him?
because somebody asked me to.
Okay, you were commissioned to do.
I was commissioned. Yeah,
And then above is.
that's a little
that's-
moonflower dance. It's this
that's
one here.
Inspired by your
by the dance you saw there with the flowers, the flower dance.
So this is kind of a
Well, it inspired it.
self-inspired by your own experience.
Yeah. Yeah. it
Yeah,
just-
it's gorgeous.
see, with peonies all over. It was so crazy. Some of the things I did. What got into my head?
I don't know, you were following your passion and your curiosity.
And nobody said not to, so.
Wow. How
Did you have
about what's happening over here?
Now-
Oh, that spinning one captures us. Wow.
That one, the black and white one, that's one of my favorite pieces. I think it's one of the best things I've ever done.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because first, I love the charcoal medium. I love that. And then it's so, here's the curve here. It's like the center of the picture, and she's just sending off all this. And she's spinning, and she's full, and it emphasized the curve of her spine and the curve of her belly.
Did you do many sketches en route to this?
I probably did, but the thing about charcoal is you can erase it if you don't like it. It's a rough piece of paper, and if you can just keep rubbing it out and doing it over and over and over until you get what you want. So, but I did a lot of charcoal sketches. One of them was, I think that was charcoal. And then this middle one, the original is 5 foot by 3 foot. It's big. And I remember working on it. I worked on it over time. I had a studio in Central Square, not Central Square, near MIT at one time. It was horribly illegal. I wasn't supposed to be there. It was wicked fun. The guy downstairs had a bicycle shop.
You weren't supposed to be renting? Or?
I wasn't supposed to be there. It was a building that MIT owned. It was on the 3rd floor. And I met this guy named Matthew, who was, he was a little iffy, but he was just adorable. He was the cutest thing you ever saw. And he was evidently importing Chinese beds to sell, but he had to store them somewhere. So he was illegally stashed in this 3rd floor building, who the guy who ran the bicycle shop downstairs knew about it, but he didn't say anything. So Matthew wanted to rent one of the rooms upstairs because he wanted to bring in a little extra income. So I illegally rented the room from Matthew, who was illegally putting Chinese beds on the 3rd floor.
I didn't know there was a market for Chinese beds.
I didn't either, but you should have seen these beds. They were really just beautifully carved, and they had silk things on them, and they were very impressive. Wow. Very impressive.
So she was created over there.
So I had yes, and it was big. I did some big ones, and that was one of the big ones. And I worked on it over time. I would come back and forth and back and forth.
How much time do you estimate?
Oh, I don't know, months maybe, several months, doing this and that. The one that's bigger is more impressive just because it's bigger, but this is a nice picture.
Oh, I find, I'm not a trained artist in any way, but the vibrancy of it is just kept. The blue against the veil, those two colors.
Yeah.
Just wow. And that gold line on the skirt, that thin gold line.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
exciting.
Yeah, I wanted to be like that. I wanted the light to hit it right. I wanted to, just the abandon, just throwing your hip up like that. Just the abandon of it. And it looks like it's abandoned, but it isn't, because you've learned how to use your body and do what you want with it. And then when you get it where you want it, then you kind of have abandon and throw stuff around. But I wanted that to be bursting from her.
Do you have a moment that inspired this one?
It was just the dance in general at that time. I'm trying to think of the years. I just wanted a beautiful dancer dancing. The desert dance, I call that one the desert dance. That nobody danced in the desert. I doubt that anybody actually did. But just the outdoors and the blue sky and the feeling.
Do you have a name for the spinner next door to the left?
This one here?
Yeah, the charcoal.
Oh, I can't remember what I called it. I don't know. I forgot what I called it. I can find out for you, but I forgot.
That one is just wonderful.
See, I like the drawing I did there. But
Why?
why?
Me looking
Me looking at it as the artist who made it, something would mean something to me that maybe wouldn't to somebody else. But I think I did a nice job with the drawing.
So one thing I notice about all the figures is they all are robust in the hips. They've
Yeah.
got a nice belly.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's an important set of lines for you.
Absolutely, the hips, yeah. That's how we're made. The seed of life, sacred. The ancient Arabs. Dancing with death on your head.
I thought one of these was Riscala.
Yes.
Am I allowed
Yes.
to ask that?
Yes.
Or is that improper to ask an artist who they...
There's one, and I believe it's that one.
It's that one.
Yeah. That I knew was her. I was working from some photographs of her.
Those of you who don't know, Riscala Riyadh is a dancer in Connecticut.
Yes, and a very fine one. And she was dancing at the Averoff. And the Averoff guy, sorry about that, said he wanted to put a picture of her on the flyers to advertise her. So, and he wanted to be in black and white so they could be printed up. So I did that one so they could use on the flyer.
Oh, my goodness.
And I said, oh, this is a really nice drawing.
I'll say.
So that was of her, definitely, yeah.
Wow. And is that considered your logo also?
Oh, no, that was my logo right there.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay. And that is just stunning.
Just because I loved it, and it was ink. And you could see it didn't come out right. Her foot isn't right. I mean, if you wanted to really pick on the drawing, you could say, oh, this isn't right and that isn't right. And I don't care. It was one of those drawings you just did, and it was good enough, and I used it.
I've always thought curiously about that blot of black ink,
It was on the paper.
and you just said that's the way it's supposed to be?
That's the way, yeah.
I love that blop. I'm like,
That's-
what
that's the
is
drawing,
that?
yeah.
It's so, clearly
it-
you were accepting of what happened there, or you
Yeah.
it wouldn't become this.
And this is another, because I remember the night, I used to go, after my kids went to bed, I'd go and I'd draw for a while. And I remember doing a lot of these before I finally said, okay, that's it. That's the one. Wow. You have to do a lot. You have to mess up a lot to get the thing you want. Life.
Right. It's such an honor to have these here. It's very moving.
I just want to say one more thing. People who don't do art, think that the artist is sitting there and then all of a sudden, and then you always say, oh, I can't draw anything. I'm just no good at drawing. Well, people can draw because I've taught drawing classes, and I know that's not true. You can learn to draw. But my point is, they think that there's something special about an artist. You sit there and you wait, and this thing comes down, this inspiration thing, and it comes into your head, and then you just do the thing. And that's it. You have this talent. That's not how it works. You can see that's not how it works. You get an idea, and you do stuff over and over and over, and finally you say, I got it, or I didn't, or I'm going to do. But that's how it is. I mean, with the dance, the same thing. So, what can I say?
Beautiful. Well, to thank you is not enough. I'm very moved to have had this time with you.
Oh,
And very moved to have this work here.
well, I
And
love
thank
what
you so much for everything that you did, which you don't describe yourself as a hero, but all of my mentors, you blow my mind, and you gave us this art form, and you gave us this beauty, and you didn't do demeaning things. You uplifted the art, and you're just such an elegant person, and it's just a pleasure. Excuse me, not supposed to end that way.
I'm really touched
But
because
it's
I
truly-
love what you're doing here, and that's why I'm really pleased and proud to have my work here.
Oh goodness, I
You
don't
know,
know.
It's a beautiful dance. It's a woman's dance. I know what it does to people inside. It belongs to us. I don't care what other people do with it. It's ours. It's ours. And you allowing us to talk about it here is really special. It's really special. It really is what she's doing here. And thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm wondering if you have parting words. There's a few questions, and
Oh, parting words?
well, I think you've kind of danced around this from Becca, who is an artist herself, and kind of following your footsteps
Yeah,
because she's
yeah.
doing both. And she wants to know how your experience as a visual artist informed your dance practice and performances. And I think you've talked a lot about that with
Yeah.
lines and things.
Yeah,
And
I mean, does that answer your questions pretty much?
You did go very much into how that impacted your dancing and how to think about yourself almost, you say all the time, as like a sculpture. that
Yes.
I'd
people
probably
do
say that because of
differently.
her.
Yes,
That's right, yeah,
and just, your dance as a composition itself.
that's right.
Using that, you said it, I was like, oh, she's answering my question, you're using your design principles to do your choreography and
Yeah.
just thinking about how everyone is seeing and activating that space around you, so.
Yes.
You nailed it.
Good, we did good.
Yay.
Okay,
How long did you dance? I guess that could be a couple of chapters. How long,
how long did I
I guess,
dance?
wonder how long from first moment you saw Adana till you stepped off the dance floor?
Oh, yikes. A long time, because my kids kind of grew up, and then I did bellygrams, and then, I don't know exactly, I don't know. I don't know, it was for a while. When did I quit? I don't know when I quit. I probably heard something and then didn't go back. I don't know how to answer that. But it's a fair question. How long did I dance? A long time. A long time. It wasn't just a few months. It wasn't
No.
just a few years.
Yeah. Beautiful. There was another one that slipped away, and I don't know where it went.
Oh,
She wanted to know, advice for a new dancer.
Even though the new dancer had to.
She did leave, but I wonder if you wouldn't mind riffing off of this bit that you talk about that I just love. Now that we've talked more about your art, you talk about that moment you saw the dance and that moment you helped others see themselves differently through the dance. I feel like that's a kernel that we all really need to take from you and keep, is to just remember the sacred moment of joy and keep returning to it.
Yeah. Yeah, not too long ago, I was in Manchester at the little local grocery store, and a woman came up to me who I thought I recognized. She told me what her name was. She was a friend of my daughter's. They grew up together. I remember her as it's not a little girl, but maybe 10 or 11 or 12-ish. And she said, I have to tell you something. She said, I remembered you when you were belly dancing. And I was Felicia's friend, my daughter's friend. And she said, I never forgot it. It always stayed with me. And she said, just recently, in the last year or so, I started taking lessons. And she said, it's changed my life. And she said the same thing that I'm telling you. She said, I found something in myself I didn't know was there. This has totally changed my life. I can't thank you enough. And I said, that's it. That's the thing. It's that thing you move you say, that's me. There it is. I don't know how else to put it into words. But everybody that does it knows what I'm talking about. It's yourself. It's you. Does it have to do with being female? Probably. I don't know. I've never been a man, so I don't know. But you connect with something that's in yourself, and that it's something else. And no one can ever take it away from you, ever. Once and they're still doing it. Here's Gail coming up to me, and after years, saying to me, this has changed my life.
Wow.
So it's there. It's us.
Thank you so much for being here. This was our first ever interview. I don't know how we'll ever even come close to topping this, although every one of your colleagues and every one of my other mentors is amazing too.
Yes, they are.
But
Yes,
this
they
was
are.
an amazing kickoff. Thank you for being here all the time in the artwork, for taking interest in me. I pass on everything you say as best I can. So everybody in here is a relative of yours in the lineage a little bit,
I'm delighted to be here. I'm so happy to be able to share this. And I appreciate your making it possible. I do.
It's just our honor. Elisabeth Clark, everybody.